Hi, I'm Dan Hausrath. I'm an assistant professor in hematology here at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, and hopefully be starting up working at the VA across the street as well.
I'm Ronak Mistry. I'm a second year fellow in hematology and oncology, also at Vanderbilt in Nashville. And both Dan and I are also two of the three co-hosts of the Fellow on Call, which is a HemOnc podcast that some of you may be familiar with.
I first got interested actually all the way back in medical school when we were first doing our case-based sessions, case-based teaching sessions, and I found I just loved working through the anemia cases.
I think the part that I found the coolest was that they used a lot of the same basic science techniques that we learned about in all of our classes. So, karyotyping and fish analysis was something that was used routinely, and I thought it was awesome to be part of a field that was so heavily rooted in the basic sciences.
Oftentimes they will assume that, I'm in malignant hematology. It's just more common, it seems like. And especially on the interview trail when I was applying to fellowships, people, when they heard I wanted to do classical hematology, they're like, oh, really? People don't like that. And so it's like, yeah, I happen to like it. I didn't realize how uncommon it was. I just assumed everyone loved this stuff.
I actually met Dan over Zoom during my interview day, and we both realized that we were, again, rarities amongst amongst the pool. So yes, it is. There is a misconception. The assumption is that we're doing leukemias and lymphomas and things like that.
I've just been really impressed with how multidisciplinary it is, how many different fields are there, and how many specialists the patients see as they come through the clinic. Kind of emphasizes or drove home for me the numerous different health problems that can arise from one underlying condition like hemophilia.
As Dan alluded to, it is truly multidisciplinary. These patients get to meet with physical therapists, nurses, and physicians, social workers. They have their whole dedicated team just helping them, making sure that they have access to their medications and a lot of the supportive care measures that they need in place to help them to be successful. So it is truly a team effort. One of the unfortunate things in our healthcare system is just how everyone kind of functions in their silo. And unfortunately, patients are the ones that are stuck kind of navigating a lot of that if we don't have the answers. So I think as a physician, a lot of patients see us as kind of the person that they go to when they have these concerns, and just understanding what everyone's role is in helping the patient is important, so you know who to send them to, and there's just less lag time of them getting passed from person to person to person.
I think that education really has to start early. In medical school, we used to have these sessions where we'd have an interdisciplinary case to work through. We'd have students from the nursing school, the dental school, pharmacy school all together. And of all those cases that we did, I never had a hemophilia case. And it seems like such a perfect topic to talk through with all these different specialties. So I think just trying to work hemophilia into early medical education is going to be really important. So the most common misconception I've heard is that hemophilia has been cured or is no longer really a condition. And I always find that surprising. It's like, oh gosh, did I miss something really big? But I think it's just because in the lay press, a lot of times these new and exciting gene therapy approaches are getting discussed and people are thinking, this is further along than it really is. And I just think it's so important to raise that awareness that this is still a really important medical condition that has long-term consequences for patients.
I think the biggest misconception when patients see hematology or hematology oncology in terms of where their appointment is that they assume that they have some sort of cancer. And then we are quick to tell them that maybe that's not the case, but we should still do the workup to figure out what it is that they have.
The advice I'd give to a medical student is to really work with their mentors, be that advisors in medical school or any other kind of mentor, to try and connect with as many different of the subspecialties within hematology as possible. The medical system is getting more defined in terms of these hyper specialized areas of practice, and just knowing what's out there, what could be available to you in a career in hematology, I think is really important.
the biggest trap that somebody can get stuck into is just kind of sticking to the first thing that they experience and thinking that they love it without exploring the rest. Medical school is the time to go out and explore everything, understanding that, all of it can just be temporary. And from that, you can then decide what you want to do for the rest of your life. So definitely just keep an open mind. The Fellow on Call podcast actually came about shortly after I started fellowship. We realized that we wanted to create a platform that would help address some of the gaps in education in hematology and oncology. There's a lot of really great podcasts out there for a general medicine audience that provide, good information for someone that maybe is curious but not quite, interested in doing hematology or oncology for the rest of their life. And then there are also podcasts out there that are very technical for the person that's been doing this for a few years and is interested in learning about the latest and greatest in the field. But there was nothing quite in between. And so that's kind of where we saw our opportunity and we ran with it. And here we are a little over a year later. And it's been awesome.
We wanted to provide those tools for those trainees that are interested in hematology oncology or just starting out in their fellowships, and try and provide them some foundational or fundamental concepts to really give them a good start. And it has been a tremendous learning experience. I think we recorded our first episode 7 times before we felt like it was right. And just the amount of time that goes into getting this all put together is more than I expected, but it's been worth every minute. It's just been so much fun.
So this Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month, I'm starting a conversation about health equity.
This Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month, I'm starting a conversation about the importance of regular and consistent prophylaxis.